Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video, once again looking at Troy, as there is a mechanic there that could probably help out the Warriors of Chaos to make them a bit more interesting. You see, the Warriors of Chaos are of course not in a very good place at the moment. In fact, they haven't been for quite some time now, and they are in need of a major rework. With the fact that the majority of their roster has now been implemented in Total War Warhammer, it's unlikely that they're going to be able to get a lot, especially since the Warriors of Chaos themselves have been represented as Chaos Undivided, and yeah, it's not really great. They need a little bit more oomph. And I believe that some stuff implemented for Troy's Mythos DLC would be perfect, and I mean absolutely perfect for the Warriors of Chaos, to give them some influence with some monogod units, but also just give them a bit more flavor. So let's not waste any more time and jump right in. Now, we're all aware that the Mythos DLC for Troy is introducing a lot of new mechanics, but there are a few that strike out to me, mostly centered around that of the expeditions. An expedition is a new system where you pick one of 3 monsters and hunt them down in an effort to tame them and make them join your army. Now, these monsters themselves work in a way of a legendary hero format, but much more than we're used to in Total War Warhammer, where these monsters also have unique mechanics, unique buildings tied to them specifically, and even unique units. It's a rather interesting system, as these units and buildings only become available after you've recruited said monster, so it's a mechanic which only comes into effect later into your game. It's something that I believe has not been done before for Total War. And with all that being said, I also think that this mechanic could work very well for the Warriors of Chaos when they get their eventual rework, to still have them as a Chaos Undivided Warriors of Chaos faction, but with the ability to get some God-touched units from all different 4 gods. Let me just explain my idea, as it follows this central format of the Mythos DLC stuff. In a very similar way to the current subpage for the Mythos DLC, you will be able to see 4 different options instead of 3. This will be 1 legendary hero dedicated to each of the Chaos Gods, so 1 for Slaanesh, 1 for Tzeentch, 1 for Nurgle, and 1 for Khorne. The models you can see on screen right now are those from the 6th edition Storm of Chaos campaign, as they could fit with the theme, and it could literally be these 4 characters. Moving on, it would work in the same way as that of an expedition. You would only be able to start 1, however, unlike Troy, you would be able to complete all 4 throughout your campaign. So as it would stand here, you would start 1 and then move on to the typical dilemma stuff. You'd send out a unit or just do some random dilemma stuff for around 10 turns or so, which would then lead up to a battle against whichever champion you decided to fight against. So say for example here you've decided to fight against the Khornate champion and you've beaten him. He would then join your forces as a legendary hero, and not only that, but you would have a new building in your horde tree, and that would allow you to recruit god-specific mortals of Khorne, so the Skull Crushers and the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, with all the different variants that we've seen in the Warhammer 3 reveals already. After which you'd be able to do another expedition and then just go for another god-specific champion. So say this time you've picked the Slaaneshi legendary hero. After doing everything as before, you then get access to said hero and some Slaaneshi units, so possibly some Hellstriders, which would be 2 units, that with the Lancers and the other ones with the Hellscourgers, plus whatever else gets the Slaaneshi treatment in terms of mortal followers for the Slaaneshi forces in the Monogods. Again, after which you could work on the other 2, so Nurgle or Tzeentch. It really doesn't matter what order you go through, but this is a way for you to flesh out your roster even more with, well, let's be very honest, mostly reskins, barring of course Skull Crushers and Hellstriders. Since these units we are already expecting in base game for Warhammer 3, then this would be the way to introduce them, as of course they wouldn't really fit in a DLC, as, well, we've already paid for them once. So it's just easy just to shift them over, isn't it? Copy pasting and then you're done. I know a lot of people don't like reskins or copy pasting, but then again, this kind of fits. Just imagine God-touched warriors with your Warriors of Chaos faction. Of course, this isn't a full rework mechanic, but something which could be implemented and make the Warriors of Chaos fairly unique. I think something like this would be pretty cool for the fanbase. There are a few things to discuss which could go further into this mechanic. Obviously, Sigvald would not have to do the expedition, or whatever it would get called for Warhammer, well, the Slaaneshi expedition, because, well, yeah, he's Slaaneshi, and it's very likely that he would just have Slaaneshi units from the get-go. Archaon and Korlek would have to do all four, however, as obviously they are undivided characters, but this opens up for future DLC to have a god-touched character for Nurgle, Tzeentch, or Khorne, as that way you could have some characters introduced to the Warriors of Chaos faction that aren't specifically tied to the Monogod faction. And it would incentivize the player base to play as the Warriors of Chaos every now and again, despite of course having Monogod factions, but this is something for you to get a undivided Warriors of Chaos faction with possibly some Monogod units if this mechanic does ever come into play. Which would then open up for Be'lakor to have demons of Undivided, so that kind of works out too. These are just some basic thoughts. Of course, the Warriors of Chaos need a lot more to make them more unique, but I think something like this would be really cool, rather than just reskinning something from the Beastmen rework or taking mechanics from other factions, as, you know, a lot of reskins and a lot of rehashing of mechanics does happen in Total War Warhammer. It's understandable, there's only so much you can do when it comes to a engine, but I believe that this mechanic would work out really well for the Warriors of Chaos, and it's already possible to do, as of course this already is in Troy, which I believe is in the same engine, unless I'm deeply mistaken. There's probably some other mechanics there, but this is the one that struck out to me the most. But let me know what you guys think, especially since the Warriors of Chaos are a hot topic. They've been in a bad state for quite some time now, and I think that this could really help them make them, yeah, fun. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel has been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very soon. Have a good day.